What is a screenplay option agreement? In a nutshell, it's an agreement where a writer who's written a screenplay agrees that during a specified period of time, a producer is going to have the exclusive ability to produce a film based on the screenplay. Usually that period of time is between 6 months and 1 year. The producer doesn't have to buy the right to produce the screenplay in that time frame. And in fact, the producer may not be able to, because the producer may have to raise funds in order to buy the film rights from the writer and might not be successful in doing that during the option period. That is, during the 6 months or 1 year time period or whatever it is in the agreement that the option is going to remain open. And whether the producer wants to buy the right to produce the script will also depend on market factors. So, for instance, if heartwarming Disney Pixar animated films happen to be popular, and the agreement has to do with the script for a slasher film, maybe the producer will think, well, it's not the right time to produce the movie, so I'm just going to let the option period expire. That's why it's called an option, because the producer can choose during the option period whether the producer wants to make a movie based on the script. So that's a high-level explanation, but in the law, the devil is always in the details, and those devilish details are what we're going to get into in this video. But first, a couple of disclaimers, because we lawyers just can't resist disclaiming things, right? First, this is not legal advice, because if I were going to give you legal advice, then I would need to understand your specific situation and needs, and right now I'm just a lawyer talking to you on the internet. Second, this video is going to deal with concepts of U.S. law. So if you wrote your script outside the United States or you're a producer operating outside the United States, then different legal rules are going to apply to you. Finally, of course, if you found this video helpful, please remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel so I can keep bringing more of this type of educational content to enterprising young filmmakers such as yourself. So, the three basic ingredients of an option agreement are the option period, the option price, and the purchase price. Let's go into what each of those things means. The option period, like I said before, is the time period in which the production company has the exclusive right to purchase the right to produce the film. Like I said, it usually lasts between 6 months and 1 year, although some option periods are much longer and they last for multiple years. It really all depends on what the production company and the writer are capable of negotiating. Under this type of agreement, the producer isn't buying the right to produce the film, he's buying the right to buy the right to produce the film. Hopefully phrasing it that way is not too confusing. The idea is that during the option period, the producer will use the script to raise funds for the project and look for talent, look for actors to attach, and so on, or at least gauge people's interest in being part of the project. Depending on the outcome of those efforts, the producer will then make a decision as to whether to make a film based on the script. Sometimes, depending on the terms of the contract, the producer may also be allowed to make edits to the script for the purpose of selling the project, to make it more appealing to potential investors and cast members and so on. The contract may also say that the writer needs to do rewrites or polishes of the script if the producer asks them to do that. Again, if the producer thinks that that's going to help them sell the project during the option period. Another key point is that ordinarily, an option agreement will say that the option is exclusive. That is, no other production company can buy the right to produce the film during the option period. That way, the producer's efforts to shop the script around don't end up being for nothing because the screenwriter ends up agreeing that some other production company can make the film, right? And other producers during the option period can't start bidding against the producer who signed the option agreement. And so it protects that producer's interest because the price of the film rights can't get jacked up by competing bids during the option period, essentially. Finally, many option agreements will give the producer the right to extend the option period, often by paying an additional fee, usually if the producer thinks that they need more time with the script to raise funds and attach talent. So the agreement might say that if, for instance, the producer pays an additional $1,000, the option period will be extended by 6 months, say. The period of time by which the option period is extended is usually called the extension period. Number two, what is the option price? The option price just means the amount that the producer is going to have to pay to acquire the option. That is, to get the exclusive ability for whatever period of time the parties agree on to buy the right to make a film based on the screenplay. The option price is not the same thing as the purchase price, which is the amount the producer will pay if the producer chooses to exercise the option. All the producer gets by paying the option price is the exclusive right for 6 months or a year or whatever to buy the film rights. What will the option price be? It usually depends on the clout of the screenwriter. A writer who's early in their career without that many credits may end up selling the option for $1, whereas a more established screenwriter may get something in the 4 or 5 figures. The industry standard when it comes to experienced screenwriters is that the option price will be roughly 10% of the purchase price, that is, of the price that would need to be paid to buy the film rights. And the fee is going to be non-refundable, even if the producer chooses not to acquire the film rights and the option period expires. But again, it ultimately comes down to whatever the parties are able to negotiate. Finally, what is the purchase price? The option agreement will say that if the producer chooses to exercise the option to buy the film rights, the producer will have to pay the writer some amount of money. That's the purchase price. The way that the purchase price is calculated will widely differ depending on a bunch of different factors. It may be a flat fee that's spelled out in the option agreement, or it may be based on some percentage of the budget that's eventually used to make the film. Or it may be a combination of a flat fee and contingent compensation, which usually means some share of the profits that may be earned once the film ends up being distributed and audiences end up paying to see it. Again, it really depends on the bargaining power of the parties and what they and their representatives are able to negotiate. Another question that needs to be addressed when we're dealing with an agreement like this is, what specific rights is the producer going to get if they exercise the option? At the very least, it will probably include the right in perpetuity and throughout the world and in any and all media and so on to make a film using the screenplay. But will it include the right to make a TV show or a stage play or a podcast or some other type of entertainment property? Will it include the ability to make a sequel to the film? These are all questions that the parties are going to need to negotiate, and they're going to need to memorialize in the option agreement. And of course, the agreement is going to have to address a bunch of other issues that would need to be addressed in a standalone agreement to buy the film rights in a screenplay, such as what credit the writer is going to get, how the credit's going to be shown in the film. That is, for instance, whether the writer is going to get a separate card in the opening title sequence with their name on it. The extent to which the production company can use the writer's name and likeness in marketing the film, whether the writer is going to indemnify the production company in the event that some third party sues and claims that the film violated their copyright, and so on and on. But if you understand the basic building blocks of an option agreement that I talked about in this video, that is the option period, the option price, and the purchase price, you're going to be well on your way to understanding what these agreements are all about. So, I hope that was helpful in understanding the moving parts that go into a screenplay option agreement. If there are any questions that I didn't address in this video, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.